Amazing. Okay, welcome. I think we can go ahead and get started. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. My name is Danielle Gregoire. It's wonderful to meet you. Prior to joining Toolio, I spent the last 15 years in merchandise planning, merchandising, and allocation at companies like Macy's, Kate Spade, and Kendra Scott, all working with Excel, pulling from various data sources, stitching the full picture together with formulas, pivot tables, hoping my files didn't get too big in the process. Thank you all for joining. I'm so excited to be here. Kicking off, retailers and brands are being asked to do more with less. There's margin pressure, cost volatility, and inventory risk, meaning the cost of planning errors has never been higher. And most planning teams are still reconciling in spreadsheets. Today, we have a quick overview of Toolio. Toolio was natively built for retail, not a repurposed supply chain system. And that means our UI, forecasting engine, and workflows align with how your teams think and work. Toolio is an integrated cloud-based platform with three pillars. There's merchandise planning, assortment planning, and allocation. We will go through each one of them at a high level, but merchandise planning is where you are setting strategic sales, margin, inventory, and open to buy targets across your business with flexible top down, bottoms up, or middle out planning in an Excel-like grid. Assortment planning is where we can build time-bound assortments, plan new and existing items, and create item level forecasts that roll up to your financial plan for seamless reconciliation. We'll finish off with allocation, and this is where you can execute your demand-based initial allocation and replenishment across all channels, bringing your assortment and merchandise strategies down to that SKU location. Overall, this is where we're able to reduce manual reconciliation between systems or various spreadsheets and can really give a single source of truth for decisions across finance, merchandising, planning, and allocation. Moving into merchandise planning. So this is the module where you are setting those strategic sales, margin, inventory, and open to buy targets with that flexible top-down, middle-out planning. You may notice that it is a grid-like structure. This is on purpose. It has the look and feel of Excel, but the power of a platform. We're able to provide robust planning framework, but in a live multi-dimensional data model. And what the impact of this is faster adoption across teams and a single source of truth that reduces time spent building custom reports. Toolio is an attribute-based planning platform, which means your hierarchy is fully flexible. We support up to 10 attributes. All of this can be configured and tailored directly to your business. You can plan by division, department, class, channel, region, or any mix of these. Just by adding this in, you can see this load and have visibility. Even if you're looking at a rolled up view, all of the math is being maintained at its most granular level underneath, so everything stays synchronized. A best practice we recommend is using merchandise planning for those durable attributes like channel, account, and division, and then assortment planning for those highly detailed attributes like collection, delivery, color story, etc. And this separation gives you both stability and flexibility. You're able to go down from tops down to bottoms up all in one place. All of this can be adjusted, similar to a pivot table-like feel. And there's over 250 metrics available. You can just type them in, add them into your grid, and be able to see the impact of your planning decisions in one simple view. Going into different planning scenarios, you may notice we've been looking at the master so far. I can click in here and create a new scenario. allowing you to see the spread or adjust a category and see the impact on the total. You can save a snapshot, thinking this is where I would save a open to buy forecast, so that way I had an audit trail. If I am planning a scenario that I'm not quite ready to share with everyone, I can save this as a private view. And then I can also show other scenarios side by side for comparison. Again, being able to review that across all 250 metrics, across all divisions, department classes, with just a couple clicks of a button. Once my open to buy meeting is perhaps then approved, then what I can do is also merge my reforecast into the master. You can set permissions for this, so that way a manager or director or vice president can review the impact of all of those different plans, ensure that there's alignment prior to merging to your master scenario. Allowing the team to see risks and opportunities quickly, spend time on strategy rather than actualization, because Toolio is able to integrate directly with your tech stack. Other options within merchandise plan is store plan, wholesale, long range plan, and brand plan. Taking a look at the finance plan, we are able to then support all of those various plans alongside the open to buy plan, allowing teams to plan on their specific KPIs while still reconciling back to the master plan. This allows for a matching and reconciliation that takes hours to be able to do in Excel. If I'm working on my long range plan for 2027 or 2028, then I can go ahead and pull that into my merchandise plan, respecting all of those relationships that I've already built in my merchandise plan, allowing me to have that smart start and that alignment at the very beginning. That was a quick overview of merchandise plan, where you're planning that financial intent at that attribute level with different time frames available. You can jump between different years and seasons, all with just a couple clicks of a button. Now we're going to go into assortment planning, where you can take that financial intent and turn it into product reality. Within assortment plan, this is where you're going to build your preseason assortments, manage in-season item forecasts, and reconcile them back to the merchandise plan targets. You're able to create a holistic view of the entire assortment over time, not just isolated to various line sheets. And the impact of this is you're able to reduce the risk of over or under buying by making gaps between tops down and bottoms up plans explicit and actionable. Starting off in assortment plan, looking at the gallery view, this is a live visual gallery that bridges future assortment planning with current sales performance. You're able to jump between different views. You can look at any information grouped. So if you want to look at how one channel performed compared to another, or one store cluster group compared to another, you have all of that visibility with images. So that way you can really understand and uncover insights faster than just by looking at rows of data. All of those metrics continue to follow you throughout the entire module, so you're always able to add in more information as needed. If there is a metric that is not available, that can also be configured in the settings. You don't have to open a help desk ticket. You're able to add that metric in and continue working on your workflow. There's not a bottleneck in terms of opening up an IT ticket, etc. Moving into the assortment summary screen, this is where you can define assortments by category or program by creating various assortment names, assigning different groups, and then creating filters and timeframes. You're able to zoom in from the big picture financials without the need to link multiple spreadsheets to see how a specific month is planned. So you can see for February, I have my jeans assortment, but also my total. So I can always review how each of those different relationships are impacting each other. Moving into the October 26th assortment, you can see here, in terms of my preseason work, I have placeholders here. I'll go backward in just a moment to show you how I built this out. But did want to call out at the top, there is a roll-up and reconciliation view, always top of mind. This roll-up is looking at my line plan, my bottoms up, where my plan is linking back to my merchandise plan, my tops down, understanding and facilitating those conversations if there is an overage or an underage, understanding maybe I need to change my plan, maybe I need to adjust my assortment, but getting that information quickly and seamlessly. You can see placeholders here. And in order to create those placeholders, what I did was moved down to this hindsight and rationalization engine. And so this is an engine that recommends necessary SKU count and identifies which products earned their space based on historical performance, cleansing out any weeks of out of stock down to that store size level, ensuring that you are only looking at good weeks, taking out any anomalies, and stabilizing what that rate of sale is. From here, the team is able to optimize breadth versus depth without punishing inventory constrained items because we're only looking at weeks where the products were available. You can also see the marginal return curve to see where additional choices dilute productivity while still incorporating those top line growth numbers from merchandise plan. And overall, this is increasing sales and margin by focusing on that unconstrained demand and removing anomalies. From here, I can then seed in into my new assortment from the selected rows. And that is how my placeholders came to be. So I have a framework of what assortment I need to have in order to achieve those sales. In order to make these placeholders a product reality, we can use Style Bank. And Style Bank can directly connect to a PLM system or another system that you have images in for your future assortments. We're flexible and configurable here. And this is to show, how easily you can turn those placeholders into real products by pulling over styles to replace them. Apologies, my Wi-Fi is acting a little funny right now. Overall, though, this is a massive reduction in administrative work. The team is no longer having to retype and allows the team to focus on capturing newness based on your strategic framework. Moving into in-season, we run something called tournament forecasting. Clicking into an item within my in-season assortment, you can see a mini open to buy coming in of additional details for the product. I have this in units right now, but it can be dollarized as well, highlighting that all of those metrics and variants, again, are following throughout the whole solution. And so what tournament forecasting is you can see the original forecast, you can see the actual sales coming in, and then you can see the system adjusting that forecast going forward. And what tournament forecasting is we run multiple models, machine learning, statistical models, and we actually run it backward and take a look at those models to see which one would have been the most accurate. And it does this for every single item, for every single cluster. So it is looking down to the lowest grain, ensuring that you are selecting that most precise model and then applying that going forward. And looking again every single week, every single item, and adjusting and learning from there. And that is how we're able to drive that really precise forecasting for your in season. And what this does is it frees up planners to focus on strategy and the why rather than the manual mechanics. However, you're always the driver of your business. You're not a black box. You're always, at the end of the day, the user is owning the assortment and all of the numbers associated. So there's also a plan adjusted line. And what this plan adjusted line is, you can see I went in, perhaps I'm talking to marketing about a new campaign that we had not originally planned. So I want to see that based on this new marketing, what this does to my sales, to my receipts, and any future purchase orders. And so then I can go ahead and put in this input here, adjust, and then this will drive my future receipts. So at the end of the day, we will always surface what our recommendations are, but the user is in control and able to make those adjustments within the solution as needed. There we go. Ultimately, the goal of assortment planning is getting to purchase orders. And so within assortment planning, you can see your recommended purchase orders. And this is the automated creation of POs, taking into account MOQs, lead times, receipts, multiple distribution centers, and to account to reach those ideal on-hand levels. So we're looking at sales, looking at your on-hand, any on order that are already coming to achieve that ideal on-hand by size. And this is really because of the automation, you're able to get these orders to your vendors as quickly as possible and as close to market as possible. Because of the automation, this is preventing accidental hard keys and avoids any duplicate or manual PO work. PO creation takes minutes instead of days with minimized risk of errors. I know this would have saved me hours in my past. Within the purchase order screen, you have two options. You can approve the purchase order or you can issue the purchase order. Approve the purchase order will approve it within Toolio. So you can go back through any of your items, review a total PO list, ensuring that everything is still aligned with your open to buy, your cash flow, all of that good stuff. From there, you can then issue, and then this would send the purchase order over to your ERP. The approve is not a necessary step. You can always just issue. I know that I was always in the habit of checking my POs many times before I finally sent them over. So it was comforting to me to be able to have that option. And looking at the assortment planning, within each of these, you can also seed your allocation strategies. And this is going to connect your planning decisions to execution and inventory deployment, and ensures those allocation strategies are grounded in the same data and assumptions used in both merchandise planning and assortment planning. Moving into allocation. Allocation this is a demand-driven engine that optimizes inventory placement across all stores down to the SKU location level. And because MP and AP are connected, and AP and allocation are connected, you're able to move away from those manual rule-based spreadsheet allocations because the solution is automatically determining those inventory needs based on that demand-led strategy, maximizing your sell-through at full margin, reducing stock imbalances, and improving inventory turn. Taking a look here in our inventory plan, this is a snapshot where you can see into the future, the forecasted in transit to place, because we are that demand-driven engine. You're able to see what my forecast or what my projected transfer orders will be in the future, allowing for distribution center planning, your store planning, and you can look at this down to, of course, the department style size level. Taking a look at where these allocation strategies live in terms of by item, you can see here this assortment plan is taking into account all of that work that you already did in assortment planning, allowing for true alignment of if something was bought for 50 doors, it's not accidentally being sent to 100 doors or vice versa. And so because we are a demand-led allocation strategies, that means we are taking a look at sales curves, location curves, size curves, any order cycle and safety stock, and incorporating that into the allocations. And because we are using those various curves to send the right product to the right doors at the right time, we're ensuring that smarter lifecycle management with minimal manual touch points, helping the team to move into exception management. And taking a look at what those allocation defaults can be set at, these can be set for as many or as few of your strategies that you're wanting to put into place. You can filter down to various levels and assign each of those choices. That sales curve is going to take a look at how you are selling that product over the life cycle. And then the location curve is taking a look to see what store is most likely to sell it in that given time. All of these can be set up once. And then as soon as an item is created in assortment planning, the item can then inherit any of those defaults or the assortment plan with a touch of a button, allowing for the team to pre-allocate as soon as those purchase orders are created. You're not having to wait until the inventory arrives at your distribution center, really allowing for the team to manage workload, especially around Black Friday, Cyber Monday. They're not having to allocate that newness. They can pre-allocate it and then focus on your core allocation needs during that peak holiday critical time. Finishing up an allocation, from there you can always, we will go to your recommended transfer orders, but your allocations are able to be sent directly into your ERP, allowing for that seamless execution. I'm not currently connected to an ERP, so it says transfer order CSV, but if I was, that's where it would be available. And really, the value of this is no accidental retypes. There's speed in getting those items to the store as quickly as possible, capturing sales, improving inventory turn. Demand drives the allocation, and those defaults drive consistency. And the simplest way to think about the allocation module is you define the default behavior, true demand adjusts that behavior automatically, and then the allocations are guided by those demand signals. Because we're feeding actual sales and inventory from allocation back into Toolio, you're then reinforcing the platform as that continuous integrated planning and exception loop. This is enabling agile in-season adjustments based on real performance and leading to better long-term planning and more accurate future cycles. Wrapping things up, we talked through how Toolio unifies the entire merchandise lifecycle, starting off with merchandise planning to set your financial targets, bringing that into assortment planning to build your product strategy, and finally executing with allocation, getting the right stock to the right place at the right time. And the power of Toolio isn't just in these individual modules, it's having them all in a single cloud native platform. We give you the flexibility and Excel-like usability you're used to, so the teams can adopt to it quickly, but backed by a robust planning framework that ensures everyone is working from that single source of truth. By leveraging automation and advanced analytics, we're helping you move away from manual data entry and spreadsheet reconciliation, freeing you up to focus on what really matters. That's strategy, exception management, and driving growth. Thank you so much for the time today. We'd love to show you a deeper dive in any of these areas. Please let us know if you have any questions. If there are any questions today, just let me know as well. I'll give it just a minute. Okay, great. What are the access capabilities for cross-functional teams like marketing and creative? Great question. So within each of the modules, there are also dashboards. So Toolio will provide unlimited read access for your organization, and each of these dashboards can be configured to however you're wanting to look at the business. So if marketing or creative needs a specific report, then that can be built within here. They can go in, review that report, not change the plan, not change the assortment, but have this available. I know in my past life, I always had to make a specific graph every single week. So this one, this way you can just have it already built out for you. And there are dashboards for each module as well, and reports that live within each of the modules that we didn't have, that we weren't able to go through today. Any other questions? Okay, it looks like it says, do you need to have all three modules? So we are an end-to-end solution, but we do have customers that start on merchandise planning and expand into assortment planning, or have started with merchandise planning and assortment planning, and then launched into allocation when they open stores. So it's truly flexible and modular. Do believe that there's a lot of power in having all three communicate to each other as we went through, but completely modular. Amazing. Well, thank you guys all so much for the time. And oh, I think there might be one more. Oh, can the export to ERP be scheduled? Is this for the transfer order or for the purchase order? And I can follow up a little bit more on this specifically. For the transfer orders. Okay, great. So we can run a cycle on it. So that way we would be able to, I believe, yes, we are able to schedule that. But again, I can follow up with more detail. Thank you so much for the question. Amazing. Okay, great. Well, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.